Hey everybody, let's go over this week's programming. So for those of you that have already made it today and for those of you who have yet to come today, we are doing back squats. Basically we're building up really heavy. I want you to, by set 6 you'll be building up to 95%. If you're feeling it, which, a lot of days it's just not there, but if it is there, I want you to test it or at least hit 100% of your old 1 rep max if you know it. There's a 2-minute rest between each set, so that we're going to keep it pretty short, but just long enough for you to recover. The squatting is then followed by a 12-minute AMRAP, and as you can see, it's 80 to 90% pace. When you see a percentage like this, 80 to 90%, I really want you to concentrate on making your first 2 minutes look just like your last 2 minutes. So I want you to stay consistent through the 12 minutes and really focus on reading your body, knowing if you can sustain or if you need to drop your pace down a little bit or if you can pick it up a little bit. So that's why we do these. We're going to kind of increase as we go, and then we'll probably break it back down into smaller intervals at some point as well. Tomorrow we've got intervals at 85%, so kind of the same thing, 80 to 90%. But basically, we're starting off with a row, so inducing fatigue. Sorry, let me just erase this guy. You didn't see that. So starting off with a row, then 10 shoulder to overhead. These should be unbroken, so weight-wise, that's what we should be thinking about. 10 box jumps with a step down. 10 dumbbell snatches, alternating each hand. Again, these should all be unbroken. And then 40 double unders. Weight-wise, you need to pick something that you can keep unbroken and keep moving with. We want these to all be the same pace, so we're going to be recording times as we go. Wednesday, we're going back to our power clean clusters. We did these on the last week of May with 3s. This week it is 2s, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so 2s are better than 3s, right? But you still need to make use of the hook grip and become efficient at turning over heavy weight for 2 reps. You'll definitely be going heavier than you did with the 3s, so be ready for that. Know what you did on the 26th. Okay, we're also doing 4 sets. And then we're doing an EMOM with rowing, some strict pull-ups or some banded pull-ups. And for those of you who, can't really do the banded pull-up yet, I've got something that we came up with recently that I think you'll be pretty stoked about. And then 2 to 3 wall walks. Again, don't look at this. I'll explain that at the end. Thursday, we've got front squats. These are a very long pause front squat. So this is to really focus on getting you comfortable down at the bottom in the hole with heavy weight on your shoulders. So we're doing pretty much 6 sets of 2, but the first squat has a long pause, a 4-second pause at the bottom. Again, these should be as heavy as you can make them, all right? Then we're going to move into a little bit of a tester type workout, or a very CrossFit-y type workout. 21, 15, 9 reps for time, thruster, and row for calories. Very similar to one of the open workouts this past year, but shortened because I don't want you to go too long or too hard for too long. But I do want you to kind of ramp it up a little bit for this. Followed by 20 Turkish get-ups. And I want these to be tough but very solid pace, so not unbearable. I want you to be able to keep moving through 20. 20 is not bad, especially since we're switching hands per rep, which will slow you down a little bit and give you a little bit more rest. Friday, more bench pressing. Okay, last week we did 5s. This week it's 3s. Notice how on the last set at 90%, it is 3+. Notice how also we are supersetting this with a pin lay row. So we took it out of the EMOM and placed it against the bench press. 8 to 10 reps. It shouldn't say moderated, but it should say moderate weight. Okay, at 2, 1, 1, 1. So that leaves a 1-second pause of the chest, which actually is going to lower your weight a little bit. Again, keeping it moderate. EMOM for 14 minutes. Even minutes, Romanian deadlift. Same thing that we did last week. ideally we're going a little heavier, and this will be for 5 reps, okay? And we're also throwing that in with a weighted pull-up, 2 to 3 reps. Okay, if you don't do weighted pull-ups, we'll be doing either negative pull-ups for 2 every time, or your own body weight if you can't add weight yet. And then we've got 3 rounds of more barbell hip thrusts. So it should say 6 to 8. Sorry, I didn't really edit this before we started the video. 6 to 8 barbell hip thrusts, same tempo. We want to go heavier than last week when we did 10, so now you guys are used to it. And then 1 lap waiter's walk. If you remember, that's where we have arm extended overhead with our heavy dumbbell, heavy dumbbell, and just walking, keeping your midline tight. So 3 rounds of that, and that's going to be not for time, of course. So something that we're adding new this week that we talked about in our level 2 class, but is open for really anybody that wants to try it out. It's just some extra credit work. If you feel like you can do a little bit more when you're at the gym, we'd like for you to take advantage of this. And if you don't know about any of these movements, please look in our movement library. We've filmed literally all of them, and they are in the movement library on the website. So barbell, we've got some snatch first pull. Really, it's just pulling the bar up to the knee like you would if you're going into a full snatch, but just stopping at the knee with a 2-second hold. So 5 reps of 3 at about 110%. So heavier than what you can snatch, a lot heavier. So it's really just to build strength off the floor so that barbell doesn't move you in a way that will mess up the rest of the movement. Then B, we've got every 90 seconds for 12 minutes, so 8 sets. That's a high hang snatch for 2 reps, and that's at 65 to 75% of your 1 rep max. So it's not really that heavy, but we are focusing on speed and being comfortable pulling all the way underneath the bar. If you are not ready for this, please don't attempt it. If you think you might be, you can ask me about it. But if you know you are, I would love for you to try to fit it in. Lastly, C, for our strength part, we've got 4 sets of a 45-second max kettlebell front rack reverse lunge. So 45 seconds, do as many as you can, 45-second rest, and then 45 seconds supinated strict pull-up. Use band if necessary. And 45-second rest, of course. Conditioning, this should be done on another day, okay? In a day that you're not too fatigued, such as Friday would be great to do this. 3 sets of 1,500 meter row at 80% of your 500 meter pace. So really it's, I'd say about 85-90% of what you would row like 1,000 meters, or if you were to row 90% of your 500 meter pace, that might be okay as well. Not your sprinting 500 meter pace, but your regular 500 meter pace. So really it's just something sustainable, not slow, but not, hauling, because I don't want your time to dip on your middle 500. I want it to stay sustainable. We're just going to do 3 sets. Okay, 4 to 6 minutes of rest in between. Again, sustainable is the name of the game. As you can see, these should be completed on 2 separate days. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask. Remember, we do have our rowing seminar. It's the first seminar of our summer seminar series, starting on Saturday. I think we only have about 11 more spots available. We're capping it at 20. So please, if you're interested, sign up for it. We sent an email earlier today about sign up links. We've also got a few more throughout the month of June and July, so definitely look ahead. You can already sign up for those. So do so if you are inclined. I will see you at the gym this week. Again, if you have any questions about the extra work or any of the programming, please feel free to email me at info@eastdallascrossfit.com or ryan@eastdallascrossfit.com. That's it. That's all I got. I will see you at the gym. See ya.